Hello everybody, this is GamePro24X, and today is the day. So 2 weeks ago, I announced I was going to play a very obscure game because I was very excited for its upcoming sequel later on in October. And the sequel revolves around the very first game, which I found that nobody really talked about. So today I'm going to hope to remedy the mystery behind what this game is, who made it, how it plays, what you did in it, and just what it sparked later down the line. If you have not checked out the video yet, I highly advise checking out Manjuice's video about this game because from doing a lot of research on this, he's practically the only other person that actually went in and tried to go in depth about what this game was. My video is here to elaborate some things that I felt he missed out on and never truly fleshed out in his video. There is going to be some talking points where me and him are practically saying the same thing, and there's going to be a lot of things where I diverge and I discuss my own things. But I still highly recommend checking out the video as I still think it's a pretty good video in general. Also know that this is going to be my first attempt of reviewing a game, so any criticism that you can offer me to help improve my style and work ethic is greatly appreciated. So now without further ado, let's get into it. OneeChanbara was created by a team called Tamsoft, who are known for Virtua Tennis 2 and Itadaki Street 3. However, they're more known for Dream Club, which is practically a cabaret owner simulator. If you played Yakuza 0 during the Majima segment, that's basically the game, but just more deep. Alongside OneeChanbara, the series itself, and one more game that I was actually surprised to discover. Tamsoft is also responsible for the creation of Senran Kagura. Now, I don't think I need an introduction as to what Senran Kagura is, as any man of culture should already know what this game is. But for all the uncultured swine out there, it's basically just a big titty ninja girl game. I've never played it personally, so I don't know anything more aside from the top surface of it, but it is very fucking popular, extremely popular. There is no way in hell you have not heard or even seen any of these girls anywhere in gaming in general or anime. So I'm a little surprised to hear that the creators of OneeChanbara later became the creators of this very influential, popular game. And playing the later installments of OneeChanbara, I was told that some of OneeChanbara's mechanics kind of copy Senran Kagura, but the thing is though is that they're made by the same people, so it makes sense that they use the same mechanics from one game into another. So I don't know, being an OneeChanbara fan, I might have to actually check out this series now. And for those of you who are Senran Kagura fans, I highly advise checking out the OneeChanbara series as well, this is the predecessor or precursor of Senran Kagura. Aside from all those popular games, Tamsoft has dabbled and assisted in many other games, so they have a lot of experience under their belt, and it definitely shows. The director of OneeChanbara is Shensuke Tezuka, and what is very surprising about Tezuka here is that despite being involved in a lot of heavily cultured games, there's really not a whole lot about him online. Most pages that I find about him only list OneeChanbara and like one other game. This is practically the only other site that actually lists everything that he's actually dabbled in. And I'm surprised to see that he's partly responsible for one of the Neptunia games, which again, any man of culture should know what this game is. So I find it very interesting that this guy who has played a hand at one of probably the most popular franchises around on the internet, video games, even anime, etc., is not really talked about. And that's a shame. Because if I go and look up Goichi Suda, which is one of my other favorite game developers, people talk about him all the time. And he too has played a hand in very popular, interesting games as well. So to all you men of culture out there, I think we all need to stand up and pay some respects to the man here who helped create the culture that we all know and love. I'll definitely see if I can get a possible interview, maybe try to ask him some questions, but there's no guarantees on something like that. Now, if you thought that was a rabbit hole, check this shit out. D3 is the current publisher of OneeChanbara, And when you actually go back to find out what exactly created OneeChanbara to begin with, it never started as OneeChanbara. It started from the Simple series. The Simple series is still an active thing that D3 still creates and publishes. And what it really did back then was they would give you a concept, they would give a game company, a design team, a concept, and that team would create a game based off of that concept. So if you wanted to make a boxing game, they have a boxing game. You want a mahjong game, there's a mahjong game. Racing game, they make a racing game. And sometimes they would give these teams a concept, and that team would still fulfill the role of that concept. However, they will add a lot more interesting stuff to it to better diversify it from the rest of the group. And I definitely would not be surprised if the concept given to OneeChanbara's developers at the time was, hey, create a hack and slash game, or hey, create a zombie game. Either one of the two, they were given that concept, and this game is a product of that idea. So if you go online and look up a list of all these Simple Series games, there's a lot of them. And they're all categorized by different series. There's a 1500 series and a 2000 series. And what those numbers specify was how much money it costed for you to purchase that game. So 1500 was 1500 yen, which is roughly $15 to us. And the 2000 series was $20 or 2000 yen. OneeChanbara was part of the 2000 series. But the Simple Series games were notoriously known for having very wacky, obscure games on the lineup here. One of those games I saw was called Ambulance vs. Zombies. I don't know what the fuck that game's all about, but from reading that title, that sounds lit as fuck. So if I have the means to, I may actually go back and check out some of the obscure games in that Simple Series lineup. However, due to a very small asking price for purchasing any of their games, a lot of these games were given a very small budget. OneeChanbara is no exception to this, and you will definitely feel that difference later on in the game, which I will go into detail much later. But don't dismiss the Simple Series, because the Simple Series is actually home to the creation of many other popular game franchises that we all know and love today. And some of these franchises were popular in the West and got a Western release. Games such as the Daibijin, which is roughly translated as The Large Beautiful Woman, but the Western release called it Demolition Girl. In this game, a girl is attacked by a weird alien creature on the beach, passes out, and wakes up as a giantess. And it is up to you, the unnamed JSDF soldier, to stop her. And the game just kind of continues on from there. OneeChanbara being another title as well. Still too obscure for you? Okay. How about this? Volume 31, the Chikyu Byogun, otherly known as the motherfucking Earth Defense Force. That's right, this is where Earth Defense Force originally came from and became its own franchise, just like OneeChanbara. And to those who don't know what this game is, it's just a game where you play as a Japanese soldier and you are fighting off aliens, giant ants, just anything that's out to destroy humanity. And the later installments just up the crazy by 10. I would say this, at least the very early games, were very notorious for being extremely laggy because of all the crazy shit that would go on in the game. But nonetheless, it was a very fun game, and people loved it enough to where it sparked an entire franchise. As I've said earlier, there are many other interesting games on that lineup that are definitely crazy and wacky, and might actually be the games that I might actually enjoy. So again, I may go back and revisit the Simple Series for particular titles that people may know of or remember. Alright, we are almost 10 minutes in, and I've practically gotten down all the foundations as to what led to the creation of this game. Now, let's actually talk about the game. So a lot of things are pretty straightforward. You get a standard 4-hit combo at the very beginning. You can later increase that through stats, which I'll discuss in a bit. That little flash that you see whenever I hit enemies, if you actually time your attack and you hit the attack button just as the sword hits the enemy, you'll do a cool combo, is what they call it in this game. And what the cool combo does is allows you to swing the sword faster, hit harder, and you can even extend your combo. So right now, even though I can do 4 hits, if I happen to time my attacks correctly, I can do the 5th attack, but it can only come out if I time it right. There it is right there. And as you probably saw earlier, you notice how I started swinging a little bit faster too. So it's all about timing in this game. When you unlock more attacks in your combo, you will then be able to extend it even further. Holding R1 allows you to lock onto a target just like in Devil May Cry. And while you're locked on, you can do dodges, left, right, forward, or back, and they do give you invincibility frames as well. If you look on the bottom right, every time you dodge, it also keeps your combo counter alive as well, which will play a more important role later. Also, if you spam dodge too much, you will end up jumping out of the way when you don't mean to. And yes, the jump button is the dodge button. It can only be activated when you are locked on. Holding back on the left analog stick while you're aiming at a target and attacking will allow you to do an uppercut. You can't follow that up, unlike Devil May Cry and such. Holding the stick right and attacking will do a 360 sword swing, but it's not a true 360 sword swing as there is blind spots. Pressing triangle will allow you to do a kick, which doesn't generate any blood. Doing a back kick will do a sweep. A forward kick will do the other kick you just saw earlier where it pushes everyone back. And of course, the last 2 attacks, which is the jumping kick and the jumping sword attack. The jumping sword attack does a lot of damage. The jumping kick, not so much, but it does help clear the room. Also, after doing the 3rd attack and timing it just right, you'll end up doing this side-to-side swing, which is really good for clearing out crowds, but it does make your sword very bloody pretty quick. If you press the circle button, you will do a suicide move, is what people call it. It's a really great way to kill everything around you, or at least do some massive damage to it. However, the cost is that it does hurt you, so it can come in clutch if you need it, but at the same time, it could end up killing you. So doing some more testing with the 360 sword swing, it can hit enemies, but I think if they're right directly behind you, you may end up missing sometimes. I may not have a perfect example here in this clip, but I will say that the kick sweep actually has a much tighter cone and will actually hit the people directly behind you. So that's something to consider if you're getting swarmed and you don't want to actually bloody up your sword a bit more. Even the forward kick can also hit some enemies behind you, but it kind of takes a little too long to start up and actually hit. It's much faster to do the back sweep or the back 360 sword attack. Here's a better example of what I'm talking about. So yeah, the back sweep can definitely hit more people that are directly behind you, whereas the sword attack won't. Taking care of your sword is another very important factor in this game, because if your sword gets way too bloody, it increases the odds that the next swing will actually get stuck in a target. And when you're in the later levels where enemies can literally 2-shot or even 3-shot you, that's extremely dangerous. So you have to really pay attention to that sword meter and keep it clean. Other benefits to keeping it clean is that your attacks will become quicker. So again, the bloodier the sword gets, the slower you start attacking. But you will be able to land your cool combo hits a lot easier. But again, you run that risk of potentially getting your sword stuck into somebody and you just get ganked by everybody. By pressing L1, you will be able to clean your sword. However, you can clean your sword mid-combat and continue your combo. So after 2 strikes, you can then do a quick clean, or you can just stand still and do a full clean. The quick clean move will continue your combo where you last left off. However, I believe you can still continue your cool combo, but it's going to be way harder to time when you start adding in the quick cleaning aspect into it. And the more attacks you unlock in your character, the more opportunities you'll have to do the quick clean during one long combo. Now, the bar on top of your health is the blood meter, and collecting blood orbs that are dropped from enemies, they will fill it up by a considerable amount. Sword attacks will also increase that meter by small amounts due to the blood getting splashed all over your character. I did also notice that if you are doing cool combos, you get more blood splashed upon you, and when you kill enemies with cool combos, they have a much higher chance of dropping these blood orbs as well. Once again, the kick attacks will not generate any blood whatsoever. I'd estimate it takes around 8 to 10 blood orbs to fully fill up that gauge on that meter. What happens when you fill up that meter, you might be wondering? Well, you go berserk. So, while in berserk mode, your attacks hit harder, you swing your sword faster, you move faster, the screen gets blurrier the more enemies you start killing, really cementing the whole bloodlust. However, it comes at a cost. You slowly start draining your health, and to regain that health, you either need to use cure gems or pick up more blood orbs. You could also visit an angel statue or use a piece of an angel statue to remove berserk mode entirely. It's a very powerful ability, and there's one enemy type that can only be killed while in berserk mode. But it is a double-edged sword. Also, berserk mode seems to drain your health by 1 point every 30 seconds. There are a few consumables you can find in the game. One is a cure gem, which it just heals you. Another one's a power gem, gives you more strength. The last one is a rapid gem, it gives you more speed. You also have a jewel necklace, which that makes you invincible for a short amount of time. And last but not least, you get a piece of a goddess statue, which helps remove the berserk state on your character. Here's an example of one of the gems. They will all be color coded. You got green, blue, and red. Yeah, and you can only carry 3 of each. You can only carry 1 necklace, and you can carry, of course, 3 pieces of an angel statue. These items, when used with berserk mode, also stack with berserk mode's other benefits, so you can get more strength and even more speed when you use these items. So yeah, you're pretty damn quick. I'm actually a little surprised that whenever you attack the enemies, the zombies, you can actually hack off pieces of their body. However, just because they're missing a limb, it doesn't mean they're out of the fight. They could still end up attacking you. Even if they're headless, they can still swing at you. If they lose one arm, they'll still hit you with the other arm. Hell, even if they lose their entire torso, their bottom half, their legs, will actually get up, walk towards you, and try to kick your ass. No pun intended. However, I think once you take off both the arms and the head of a zombie, it doesn't do anything after that. It'll just follow you. But again, once you just remove the torso, the legs will actually just start following you, and it will try to, of course, kick you. For a game of its time, that's pretty interesting. I don't think anyone's really done that in games. So that's kind of interesting to see that from this little indie game, that they were able to implement such a little mechanic. Whenever you kill an enemy, they'll either drop a yellow orb or a red orb, or maybe even an item as well. The yellow orbs go towards your experience, and at the end of the level, you'll be able to spend experience points on your stats. And the red orbs go towards your berserk meter. One thing that annoys me a lot in this game is that the orbs actually disappear in 30 seconds, and there are many times you're going to be engaged in very long fights. So having to run around and grab orbs or stop mid-combo just to grab orbs is really frustrating, especially once I break down the trick to getting more orbs or bigger orbs. So depending on certain factors, the orbs will increase in size, which will give you more experience per orb. So long story short, to have bigger XP orbs is you need to have a very high combo, and you also have to have a very high kill count. I've done a test where I've had a high kill count but low combo, and that did not result in large orbs. I've did another test where I had a large combo and small kills, and that didn't net me a big enough orbs at all. So the sweet spot is you need to have a very high combo, and you have to have a very high kill count. This can be achieved while you're locking onto an enemy and you need to close in for the kill, but also maintain your combo. You just do dodge rolls either to the side or going forward. That will maintain your combo meter. And mind you, these orbs will disappear in 30 seconds. So not only do you have to fight in a huge ass arena, but you literally have 30 seconds to pick up your experience, otherwise it's gone. And, oh, by the way, did I forget to mention that there is no upgrade, no skill, nothing that allows you to magnetically pull them to yourself? Yeah. So with all that shit combined, it creates a very fucking frustrating experience when you want to level up your character. 10 out of 10, great game design. So at the end of each stage, you are graded based on your performance. How many people you've killed, how many orbs you collected, how much time is left, how much life you have left, and I believe how much items you have on you, or either how many items you used. I'm not too sure. But it all calculates up and it all adds up to points. So this here is the stat screen. At the end of every level, you will have an opportunity to invest more points into whatever stat you choose. So according to my notes here, every single little segment that you see on every stat, it requires 10 points total to get that one segment. And there's 6 segments total in each stat, meaning that you need a total of 60 points to fill up one entire stat. You earn 4 points per level, which means to fully level up one entire stat, you need to go up 15 levels. So you will need a grand total of 360 points to max out every single stat, which is roughly at level 90. Now on to the actual stats themselves. Vitality is pretty straightforward, it gives you more health. However, I've also noticed that it actually gives you more defense. Enemies that used to take away 5 to 6 health points now only take away 1 health point from me. So Vitality is both health and defense at the same time. Power is straightforward. You just do more damage per swing, period. Big tip, go all out on power because trust me, if you don't, there's a lot of enemies that take a while to kill. And if you don't have that shit maxed out, this game's going to be a lot longer than it needs to be. Same goes for bosses as well. Speed is referring to your character's movement speed, not swing speed or anything like that, just movement speed. Reach is referring to your character's sword reach, so if you max that out, you'll be able to actually legitimately clear a room in just a few swings. So it's a pretty nice stat to have, but I would say focus on that after you're done with power and maybe vitality. The combination stat refers to the actual combo strings in your attack. So like how I stated earlier, you started out with 4 attacks, and if you did a cool combo, you would do an additional 5th attack. Well, every time you fill up that segment, you will do 1 additional attack thereon after, and of course, 1 additional cool combo attack as well. So when you max it out, you will be able to do, I believe it was like a 22 hit combo if you were to time it right. And last but not least, we have this mystery question mark stat. Maybe I should save that for a little bit later because it will come into play. But yeah, the mystery stat, do not worry about it. Do not worry about the mystery stat. It is not some ultimate weapon or some ultimate technique. No, do not put your points into it. Put your points into it at the very fucking end when you have nothing else to level up anymore. Trust me. Now, if you kill a boss or if you kill a lot of enemies quickly, not only will they drop items, but they will also drop this pill. This pill is a stat boosting pill, and depending on whatever color it is, will give you whatever stat that color happens to align with. So green is vitality, red is power, a cyan/light blue is reach, a darker blue is speed, and the purple color is combination. There is no color for the question mark stat, at least not that I've seen. So yeah. However, whenever you see a pill dropped, you really only have a few seconds to pick it up. So whatever stat you want to grab, just grab it. Now, depending on how heavily leveled certain stats are, you might get a different result. So for example, let's say you went all out on power. Well, that pill has a much higher chance of rolling colors for vitality or all the other stats except power. But you still do have a chance to find a power pill even if your power stat is like the strongest one. And of course, picking up these pills results in 1 point going towards that stat for free. So you don't necessarily have to reach level 90 to max out your skills, but yeah. And last but not least, we cannot forget their staple mechanic in all of their games, the jiggle physics. This game has them, and I'm gonna assume it's probably the first game they actually had this stuff implemented. But hey, I could be wrong, but yeah. Alright, cool. It looks like we practically covered every little bit when it comes to the game's mechanics. Now let's actually go into the story and the levels of this game. Now, before we go over the game and the levels and such, I want to quickly go back to something that I missed in the very beginning, which is the name, OneeChanbara, or they called it the OneeChanbara, which it's two-part words. It's One, which means big sister in Japanese, and Chanbara means sword fighting, sword style. It's one of those two combinations. But yeah, it's basically big sister style, if you kind of want to have a direct translation of that. But over here in the States, we actually have a state that specializes in the big sister style. And as for the sword fighting, they may not be using swords per se, but I think you can probably put together what kind of swords they use. So there are 6 levels total in this game. It's not a very long game. However, if you don't have that power stat maxed out, this game will be a lot longer than it needs to be. The name of the game will become more apparent as the game continues on. So the name does have a meaning to it. So at the very beginning of the game, we start off at a cemetery. We play as the character named Aya. I believe she's like 18 or something like that. She's visiting her father's grave that died mysteriously. And as she's visiting the grave, a zombie horde kind of just pops up out of nowhere. And that's when shit just starts hitting the fan. She's describing how her dad essentially taught her everything she knows when it comes to sword fighting, which for some reason in this instance they called it fencing, which is an interesting choice of words, because fencing is a completely different style of swordsmanship with a completely different weapon. But I guess maybe it's just a localizing error, or maybe the creators at the time didn't really know what the difference is. But to anybody who's like a sword buff, I don't claim to be one, but I can just tell you that fencing is completely different than typical sword fighting. And playing as this character and, you know, watching their sword fighting techniques and styles and whatnot, it is not fencing in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, continuing to the story, somebody killed her father, and in his dying breath, he told her that she has a half-sister, and I guess somehow they find out that the half-sister is involved with the zombie apocalypse. And now Aya sets out on a journey to find her sister, who may know who killed their father. Alright, so for the purposes of this video, I am going to speed up all the levels that I am completing, because we are not going to stay here for 3+ hours potentially just to find out what you do in these fucking levels and what the story is. But I will just kind of fill in along the way as to what you do. So at the very beginning of the game, you're locked in the very starting area. You fight zombies, kill them, run out of area. You're locked into another area, fight zombies, and then you just move on down towards the city. I believe you're in Tokyo. They never really specify where you're at, but yeah. So there are multiple paths you can go. Well, actually not really. A lot of doors are locked for now, and you will be able to come back and explore more of the city later. But for now, you only need to go to the very end of the road, kill this room of zombies. There's one zombie in particular that will have the key that you need to progress in the stage. Oh, there was a pill that I just picked up as well, so that's nice. So once you go across and open up that door, it's the same exact thing again. You got to kill every zombie until one of them drops the key that you're looking for. Now, obviously, when you're just starting out in the game, you don't really want to be in berserk mode too often, because your health will start draining like crazy. Like I said, the vitality stat not only increases your health, but increases your defense. So it actually slows down how much you deteriorate on your health when you're in berserk mode. So I would say use berserk mode sparingly. But since I have practically all my stats maxed out, I can just do what I want and speed through this level. That way you guys know what to expect. So then you have to go all the way back to the very beginning and go through the door that was behind you. If you try going there beforehand, it'll tell you that you need a key to come back and do this. Now, the first boss is practically a pushover. It's just this real big fat zombie. And again, I have berserk mode on and all my stats leveled up, so I could easily two-shot him. No problem. He's not a very sophisticated boss. He'll do like two different attacks. He'll do like no, three attacks. He'll do like a spin around attack with his sword. He'll do like a 360 attack with roar, and then he'll like rush you down. That's about it. So that was the first stage. It's pretty straightforward. Um, the the design philosophy behind like how the levels are structured, it's going to be practically the same all the way around, all the way to the end of the game. And what I mean by that is they literally start you off at point A. All the items you need to grab are literally on the opposite side of the map from each other. That's basically how they designed this game. And boy, oh boy, is that shit going to be real fucking frustrating in this level and the next one. You'll see what I mean. So we find ourselves in a hospital now, and Aya is now trapped, and she has to find a way out. And that's basically the premise of just this level. So this level introduces us to a new enemy type, the nurse. And holy shit, are they fucking annoying. So what the nurses do is not only do they have a lot of health and are hard to kill, they'll keep throwing fucking scalpels at you. And that shit will do a lot of damage, it'll stun you, and if you happen to jump over it, it'll also knock you on your ass. So yeah, a really fucking frustrating enemy. You thought the incendiary shuriken ninjas in Ninja Gaiden 2 were bad? Oh, these bitches are worse. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with these new enemies all the way throughout the entire mission. So you better get used to fighting them. But there's one good counter to them. If they happen to throw a scalpel and you are in the middle of a sword attack, you will actually deflect it. You'll hear like a little like ching noise, and you'll actually stop the projectile from hitting you. So thank God that's in the game, because otherwise there is no way in fuck you could ever win these fights, because all they do is they spam that ability all the fucking time, and oh my God, is it frustrating. There is an online guide, an old online guide I found on IGN, that tells you exactly where you need to go, that has the entire map laid out for you for this level, or for all the levels in particular, but this one especially, and the next one as well, because this hospital is a fucking maze. This main area with all these hallways and stuff, there's like 3 different variations of it, and you will not be able to tell where the fuck you're at. There's an upstairs and there's a basement. At the very least, in the basement, it may look similar, but it's just darker. But if you're upstairs, there's no way in hell you could tell that you're upstairs. Look at this. Does this look like you're upstairs? Does this look any different? I don't think so. And trust me, you're going to get real fucking frustrated running around this whole level trying to find where to go. Oh, and by the way, I never mentioned this, but there is no indicator whatsoever telling you where to go, what to do, nothing. You just get a mini map, which it just tells you the layout of the room, and that's it. So if you are playing through this blind, you're going to have to actually go through every single room and figure out what doors need certain keys to unlock it, whatever. So it is just a huge trial and error if you're doing this blind, which again is just a product of its time. It's very frustrating. Here's the room where you fight nothing but the nurses. Yeah, good luck with this one. Yeah, see, I have an easier time because I'm maxed out and I'm in Berserk mode. Now, if you're in Berserk mode and they're spamming those scalpels at you, you're fucking dead. You're dead. No, there is no other way to explain that. And this is on normal difficulty, mind you. You only have easy and normal. Yeah, you'll die. You'll die a lot doing this. Thankfully, the checkpoints are pretty forgiving. Every time you go through a door, that's a checkpoint. So if you died, doesn't matter how much, whatever experience you earned, items you picked up, whatever, it saves it at that point, and you can just continue from there. So at the very least, that's there, because otherwise, if the game literally sets you back to the beginning of the stage every time you died, there will be no way in hell anyone would have put up with this shit, even for back then. So you're supposed to grab, I think, like 3 different keys and make your way down to the basement. And in the basement, there's like 2 more keys to grab, and then you go into the boss room. Every single level does have a boss, so it ends in a boss fight. So we just got to clear out this room. grab the key, and then go to the next room and do the same thing. Yeah, there's really not much else to say about this level other than it's really fucking bad. The design philosophy, the whole, oh yeah, let's put one of the key items all the way across the map, and then let's put the next key item all the way in the opposite side of the map, and they just do that consistently in this hospital level. And it gets worse. It gets a lot worse because there are challenges you can do in this game to unlock special stuff. And when you find out what one of the requirements for the challenges is, you will be pulling your hair out at the idea of going through this fucking level all over again. Alright, so here's our second boss of the game. I actually had to find this out at the credits of the game. Her name is Iron Claw. That's what the devs gave her the name of. Now, again, I made it look super easy, but that's because I have everything maxed out. This chick is very agile, and she will attack you mid-combo, and it's very annoying to fight her. The best tip I can give you is bait her attack, jump behind her, and just go ham. That's basically the strat. Oh boy, here we go. Stage fucking 3, the Forbidden Ward Part 2. So, in the story, we are still trying to find our way out. There's really nothing much else to add for context or story-wise for this chapter. So, yeah, we're still just finding our way out. But I will leave the actual story bit right here. That way you can read it and have a better context as to, what the game tells you what's going on. Alright, so in Stage 3, we are introduced to yet another enemy type. And I don't know what they called this enemy type in this game, but in the later installments, they called them the Mudmen. So what these guys do is they do hit hard. They will hit you while you're in the middle of a combo. So the second you see them wind up, you jump away. Just fucking jump away. Do not risk getting hit because they will kill you if you're just starting out in the game. Anyways, so what makes these enemies really annoying to fight is that they cannot be killed conventionally. The only way to kill them is to go into Berserk mode, and then your attacks can kill them. In the later installments, they added more ways to actually kill the Mudmen, which I appreciate. But yeah, for this game, you have to go into Berserk mode. So if you're just fighting these dudes, just keep on activating your cool combo, or at least timing your cool combo. That way you can build up your blood meter pretty quickly. If there's other smaller enemies around, definitely just hack away at them as well to hopefully get some more red orbs. Otherwise, if it's just these dudes, you will be here for a while. Like I mentioned way earlier in the video, it takes a while to build up your blood meter when you're just hacking and slashing at people. It really is. The blood orbs give you a lot of blood on that gauge, and it's just the main way how I usually go into Berserk mode. So throughout this entire level, you're going to have to deal with these dudes. And guess what? That's not the worst of it. Every single important room you have to go into to grab an important key item, these dudes will be there, and they're the guys that have the item. Every single time. So essentially what I'm telling you is that in order for you to get through this level as quickly as possible, you need to remain in Berserk mode. Hope you don't fucking die. Hope you don't get hit. Because if you die, you'll have to rebuild that meter all over again. And it's frustrating. It's really frustrating because of how little amount of blood you earn from just hacking away at these dudes all day. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in one big room here. But even then, it just still takes a while. Not to mention, the blood on your sword accumulates so quickly because you're hitting so many mobs at once. So you're going to be constantly cleaning your sword, backing away, and attacking over and over again. So I'm going to save you all the trouble. I'm just going to skip ahead. And there we go. I went to Berserk mode, and look at that. They just die. They fucking die, and that's it. So once you hit Berserk mode, stay in that mode. Use healing items. Use whatever you fucking can. Because if you don't, then you're going to have to do that all over again. Alright, now that you know how to properly deal with these enemy types, let's actually continue with the story. So in the very beginning starting room, I actually just wanted to try going to berserk mode there. I was able to do it pretty quickly because again, I'm used to doing this. So again, the trick to getting more red orbs is you have to activate your cool combo and kill enemies with the cool combo. Oh yeah. So when you start out, the door that you have to go to is immediately behind you. How many people are going to guess right off the bat that that's going to be the immediate area you have to fucking go to? Because I sure as fuck didn't. So, yeah. So you have to go back from the room that you just came out of to then fight the dudes. There are 4 free blood orbs, though, for you, so that's great. But once you grab the key from there, you have to go up to this garden, which looks really nice. It's really big and spacey, but yeah, again, every single area you go to, there will be these mudmen, and you will have to kill them to get out of there. And look at that. See, the second I killed those 3 dudes that were just in there, it was over. It was over in an instant. That's how important it is to stay in berserk mode in this level. Now, truth be told, I did get lost. I got lost a few times, and I had to keep referring to the online guide as to where to go because this place is a fucking maze. There are times I thought I was on a different floor than I should be, and I didn't have the right keys on certain areas. It's just a clusterfuck, an absolute clusterfuck to deal with this level. So out of all the levels in this game, level 2 and 3 are by far the worst designed levels ever. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced anything as frustrating as these 2 levels in this game. So we practically reached the boss room now. And oh look, it's Ironclaw again. And she has a friend. A friend that has physics. Do you want to guess what the name that they gave her is? It's Iron Thorny Ball. That's the name of this boss, of the other boss, Iron Thorny Ball. Now then, yes, you will have to fight these 2 bitches at once. So get ready for a fucking fight. If you're lucky enough to actually kill the Claw Girl with Berserk mode, then you'll be able to easily run up towards the other chick and fuck her up. When she spins the ball around, immediately get away from her because it will hit you. But also, when you're at a distance, she will also throw the ball towards you. So be ready to jump or dodge when you need to. And that concludes Stage 3. Oh my god. I seriously did not enjoy re-recording going through this stage. Alright, so on our way to Stage 4, the Insane Fencer. So now we finally made it out of that godforsaken hospital. And now we have to go and find some underground tunnel in the graveyard. Which they never really explain how she found out all this information. I'm not sure if those other bosses can actually communicate. They never really specify that. Even reading through some of this text here, it's pretty all over the place, I gotta say. Some fucking 10 out of 10 translations. But that's basically the gist of it. So we made it out of the hospital. We now have to find our way towards a hidden passageway underneath the graveyard. And that is the objective right now for this mission. Alright, so we find ourselves back at the original city that we started out in. And we have to fight our way out in the first area in order to unlock it so we can leave. This is about the time when you start feeling it. You start feeling the budget now, Mr. Krabs. With the whole reusable assets and shit. So yeah. Oh yeah, and we also got a new enemy type. The cop zombie. So the cop zombies, they have guns. One has a pistol, and there's another one that has a shotgun. They are deadly. Do not fucking underestimate them. If you hear them cock that gun, you better jump, you better dodge, you better get the fuck out of the way, because they will do some mad fucking damage. I am not joking. You're going to see me get hit, but again, I have vitality maxed out, so I have my defense stat up. When you don't have that at this stage of the game, you are literally fucked if they shoot you. So do not let them shoot you. So you have to make your way all the way back to the very beginning area and go to one of the doors where you actually fought that one boss, except now it puts you into a different room, which of course is full of zombie cops and mudmen. And guess who has the key? The mudmen. Of course it's the fucking mudmen. Who else would have the fucking key? Oh man, you gotta love the design choices for this fucking game. So once you grab the key from there, you now have access to this back alley area, which looks really interesting. I just kind of wish they gave you more things to do around here, and you have to go down to this open lot and kill some zombies. And guess who has the key again? No, really, I want you to guess. I want you to take a real long guess who has the key: the normal zombie, the cop zombie, or the mudman. If your answer was the mudman, then correct. You're fucking correct. It was the goddamn mudman the whole time. Alright, so I'm going to slow down the footage to kind of show you something about the whole fucking level design philosophy. So, you're supposed to come all the way in the fuck back over here to use the construction site key. Now let me actually just rewind and show you that one more time. Alright, now listen, I'll be the first to admit that I don't know Japanese whatsoever, okay? So, maybe that's on my part. But, when you come through these levels multiple times, and you look at some of the backgrounds and some of the assets and whatnot, there are some doors that you can't do anything with, that you don't think you can go through. When you come here, do you think this indicates anything that this is a construction area? I'm legitimately serious. Maybe these little signs right here, maybe they mean warning construction ahead. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that at all. I don't speak Japanese, nor do I read it. So I have no fucking clue if literally the answer is here in my face, and I just don't know due to cultural differences or lack of understanding the language. But let me tell you, when you come here for the first time, when you're playing this level for the first time, you're not gonna fucking expect that this is the room that you have to come back to. You're not gonna expect it whatsoever. Quick note that I want to add. The projectiles work the same way so long as you're attacking with your sword. If they try shooting you, it will actually deflect it, which I got that deflection in the last frame. Also, here's another thing that kind of trips me out. So, okay, this is what was immediately behind the door. Does this look like a fucking construction site to you? This looks like a hilly landscape to me. Maybe a pathway towards a park? Something. But this doesn't scream, oh yeah, this is a construction site. Why the fuck did we need a construction site key? We didn't go through a construction site. Unless we did, and they just didn't bother to give us that as a level. I don't know. But we are at the end of the level. So you make your way all the way down here, and hey, look, there's another graveyard for some reason. I guess it's just another segment where there's another graveyard out there in the world. In this world. Alright. Now we're on to the boss. And this fucking dude, this Ganondorf-looking motherfucker, this guy is tough. So I had to record separate footage of this dude. That way I could fully demonstrate this dude's abilities because he's cheap. He's really fucking cheap. And you'll see what I mean. So he has this ability where he dashes towards you, but he like teleports somewhere away from you or even behind you at times. And there are other times he'll dash towards you and he'll teleport right behind you and hit you. There is really no way of telling where he's going to fucking go. Oh, and did you just see that right now? Oh, did you just see that bullshit? Hold on, let me rewind that. Let me rewind that for you. Okay, I'm going to slow this shit down. Look at that. The second he went down to half health, it did not matter what he was doing, what I was doing. He immediately went into a full-blown fucking combo that was supersonic speeds the second he dropped down half health. Oh, and you better believe those attacks are gonna fucking hurt. They will fucking hurt, and you might as well have been dead at that point. If you don't have the vitality that I have, you would have been fucking dead on normal difficulty. And what absolutely pisses me off about that the most is that you cannot predict that. And he'll do it again. He'll fucking do it again while you're mid-comboing him. He will be taking hits, he'll be stunned, staggered, whatever, and out of nowhere, whoosh, 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 you get fucked. Why? Why is this a fucking thing? That is the cheapest shit I've ever seen in any fucking hack and slash game. Oh my god. So you better pray to God he doesn't fuck you up with that move. And if you survive it, you better somehow find a way to fucking kill him quick, because he'll do it again and kill you immediately. This boss is probably the worst boss out of the whole game, right next to the final boss. That is how extremely difficult and dangerous he is. Do not underestimate him. If you hit him, just fucking dodge. If you see his health about to go past half, you better fucking dodge immediately because he will whoop your ass without a second thought. If you have that jewel necklace, you better use that shit. You're gonna, because you will fucking need it for this fight. I am not bullshitting you. I am really not bullshitting you on this one. Good luck for those of you who are gonna actually attempt playing this game. Good fucking luck. So long story short, once you become a fucking god like I have, he's not really a problem. And look at that. See, he did that shit once again. But again, my vitality stats maxed. That shit didn't really phase me. I fucked him up, and that's it. The end of fucking mission. Let's get the fuck out of here, please. Fucking 3 out of 10. Like a really terrible fucking boss due to that cheap-ass move that he does. Alright, welcome to stage 5. Thankfully, it's a very short stage. And it's going to be a stage you're going to be coming here very often because this is the best stage to level up. I'm not joking. Really good stage to level up your character. So it seems that in the story, we have found a way through the graveyard for a secret hidden passage. And now we're on our way to encounter our sister. I honestly would not doubt that dude that we fought, that fencer dude. I have a feeling that may be Aya's dad, but they never truly allude to it or even like talk about it. But you'll kind of see what I mean later on. I think that might actually be her dad. But anyway, let's continue. All right, so this level introduces us to 2 new enemy types. This one's a dog, a person. I don't know what it is. It does look very unique, though. They have very, like, large mouths with a tongue sticking out, so I'm going to assume it's a dog. Oh, but don't underestimate them, though. Oh, no. If you thought the nurses were bad, these guys are just as bad. So what these guys do is, while you're comboing, right, they will just randomly, out of fucking nowhere, no wind up, no nothing, they'll just fucking charge you, and they'll slap you. I'm not joking. Like, you will not know which one of these guys are going to attack you, and they do it so quick. Look at that. They run up to you and slap you. And again, that may look like you may have been able to dodge that. But try doing that when you're in a room surrounded with these dudes and other zombies. You're not going to know who the fuck to focus on. Oh, and did I mention they hit really hard too? Yeah, they hit really fucking hard. So not only will they just like slap you mid-combo, they'll rush in there, slap you in the ass real hard. You can't stop it. Unless you somehow fucking predicted it and dodge out of the way. Good luck. And of course, we get to our second creature, which I like to call the Andre the Giant zombie. I mean, look at them. Do they not look like Andre the fucking Giant? They look like it to me. Or at least Hugo from Street Fighter. Which, ironically, Hugo's design is based off of Andre the Giant as well. So, yeah, these guys look more like Hugo. But again, it goes back to my original point that they look like Andre the Giant. Anyway, these guys, they do attack, and for some reason I just could not get them to attack. I would stand in front of them, they just wouldn't do anything, but they will hit you when you least expect it. So again, it's just one of those zombies that you look out for, but they're also kind of the easiest to take out because they're the biggest of the bunch. So yeah, be wary. Alright, so this level is extremely straightforward. You go into a gauntlet area, you fight some of the new zombies, along with some old zombies. Thankfully, you're not required to kill Mudman, thank God. At least not for now. Oh yeah, that's a very nice fucking picture right there. The fucking dog. Oh God. So yeah, you continue to the next room. Now, this room is a maze. And let me tell you, this is where you really start feeling the budget. You ready to see what this maze looks like from overhead? There you go. That's the fucking maze. Wow. So difficult. You literally just stay on the left side of the path and make your way down. That's it. So once you reach the end of this section, you'll have to fight the first boss again. It's a boss rush. Oh boy. Nothing says reuse assets more than a boss rush for the final levels, am I right? After getting through the boss, you then are now greeted in a giant room full of cop zombies, dogs, and normal zombies. Again, this is the spot where you start leveling up your character. You just go through the doors, that way you get a checkpoint. You will have to initially clear the rooms out first, and then you can just sit here and just keep doing that over and over again. So this is where I went. This is where a lot of people went for leveling up the character. That's why leveling up your character wasn't too important in the beginning. So I advise not really sticking around the earlier levels because trust me, this level right here will get you up there pretty fucking quick. But yeah, you just go through one room, go to the opposite side of the room, clear out that room, and there you go. You can now progress to the boss room. It's a again super short stage. Also, because you're killing so many enemies at once, you're gonna find a lot of items on the ground. So don't be afraid to use them, especially when you're already maxed out. So the boss of this level looks a lot like the Mandragora baby boss from the Berserk Dreamcast game, Sword of the Berserk. That's what he looks like to me. But yeah, as for the boss itself, the boss is pretty simple. I mean, he will flail around and hit you, but you get a free power gem on the side and a free cure gem as well. So all you do is just run up to it and you just fucking hit it. Now, obviously, I'm a god, so I can just one shot it, and there you go, mission over. It's funny how the boss that we fought before this was a fucking beast, and then the very next boss is an absolute chump. Like, what the fuck? All right, we're at stage 6, and holy shit, we're about to pass the 1 hour mark. Oh my god. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done, everyone. All right, so stage 6, final level. This is just Aya just monologuing about her feelings about meeting her sister, trying to confront the anger that she has for her killing her dad, and all this other bullshit. So yeah, that's practically where we're at in the story right now. All right, so starting off, it's pretty straightforward. We just go into the gauntlet area, and of course, there's some fucking mudmen here. You know what that means, chat? Guess who's gonna have the fucking key to get out of here? It's the fucking mudmen. Oh, and look, the nurses are back too. Yep, it's just a fucking huge conglomerate of all the fucking zombies that we've ever fought are now in one stage. All the cop zombies, mud zombies, Andre the Giants, and the dogs. Yep, everyone's fucking here. It's just a fucking showdown. Obviously, your goal right now is to try to get into Berserk mode ASAP. That way you can kill the Mudmen and get out of this fucking section. Alright, on to the next area. And oh look, doesn't this look fucking familiar? Another fucking maze. Well, chat, if you thought that this maze was going to be any fucking different, well, you thought fucking wrong. It's the same fucking maze. So, whoop-de-doo. At least we know how to get out of it. And oh look, Iron Claw and Iron Thorny Ball are back. So, time to fight them again. Which, you should already know how to fight them. And at this point, you should be a lot more leveled up thanks to that farming session that you're going to have to be doing. So once you go through that, and oh look, you another fucking maze. Holy shit, chat. Are you really are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling the fucking budget? Okay. All right, that was the third maze that we've ever seen in this entire game. That should be it, right? And oh look, here comes the cheap ass swordsman where the second you go down half health, just insta wombo combo you. But hey, we're gods and we're getting through this shit ASAP. All right, cool. Let's see what this next area is possibly going to contain. Hopefully it's going to be something new, right? Nope. The motherfucking Mad Lads did it. They gave us a third fucking maze, the same exact way, same exact layout and everything. We're at peak budget right now, okay, chat? Peak fucking budget. So now we finally meet the antagonist of the game, and we actually get a legitimate cutscene for the very first time. Oh, and if you pause it right there, right as the text first shows up on the screen, you'll get some weird garbled fucking language that makes zero sense. And I've actually checked on videos that actually played this on the legitimate hardware and whatnot. It is legitimately like this on the actual console. So, yeah. The one thing that kind of sucks about this cutscene is that the pacing of all of the dialogue is off. You'll see what I mean. Basically, all the dialogue is playing at normal speed, or at least faster than normal, and the cutscene is playing slower than it should be. And you'll see segments of the cutscene where characters are doing stuff, and you would think they're talking still. Like, it looks like they're still talking, but they're not anymore because the dialogue is gone. So I'm gonna just leave it as it is and show you guys what this cutscene is. Oh, and by the way, there is no sound. There is absolutely no sound for this cutscene either. So yeah, we're watching a silent movie now. So enjoy. And there was one time when I played this game on a different version of the PlayStation emulator, and I didn't get any subtitles whatsoever. And if you go back and watch Machine Juice's video, he actually legitimately thought that this cutscene having no dialogue whatsoever, that was intentional. And that's where I'm like, I think you got a bad ROM or something, dude, because there's definitely subtitles. So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting to say the least to see this unfold the way that it does. Anyway, going back to the story. So what Saki, her name is Saki, the sister, the antagonist. What she's explaining to Aya is that they are biological sisters. They're half sisters. However, their dad was for some reason cruel to Saki and her mom ended up dying due to, I guess, stress and other illnesses that came from that abusive relationship. Whereas with Aya, he was actually a loving, caring father. And Saki is more doing this out of spite and for revenge because she's the one who killed him. But she's also telling Aya that she actually learned of a ritual that could help bring back her mom. But, oh yeah, and this is where the emulator starts fucking up because I'm in berserk mode. It's not supposed to be like this for real, though. Anyways, she learned a ritual that she can do to bring back her mother, which in turn caused this whole zombie apocalypse to begin with. And she also told Aya that if I were to beat her, she will tell her how to do this, and she can potentially bring back her own mom as well. Both of their moms are dead, and well, technically now both of their dads are dead too. And this is the part of the cutscene where, stuff is still happening. And there are certain actions that they do in this cutscene that look like they're still talking, but they're not talking. At least the subtitles aren't really displaying anything. And also, it feels like some of these segments are drawn out a little longer. Again, I've actually seen footage of people playing this on the actual hardware with the actual disc and whatnot, and this is how the game came. The game legitimately shipped like this, at least over here in the West. Alright, it's boss time. So, Saki has an ability where she shoots a projectile out, which you just saw me eat shit from taking. Saki, since she is also, related to you, she can also go berserk just like you, though. So once you get her down to half health, that's when she transforms. And to be honest, I kind of like her transformation a lot better, especially with her sword. Her sword has, this blue hue to it, whereas Aya's has this red one. Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that didn't fucking happen. So, yeah, she'll immediately shoot out this projectile at the beginning of the stage. She could also summon some zombies, and she practically can do the same shit as you with the whole kicks, the sword attacks, everything. But once Saki goes into, a combo fury, right there, I just took advantage of it and just attacked her from behind. So, she's actually kind of easy to beat because of the fact that she'll just, start meleeing in a corner, and you can just fuck her up really easily. So I'll let this ending cutscene play out. Once again, there's no sound, there's no nothing. But yeah, it's just them talking to each other for the aftermath. I will have to say, though, in terms of this stage, this actual boss stage, I actually really like it. I think it's kind of neat having this, little secluded platform in, this underwater, well, not underwater, but this underground cave with water underneath. It's got a pretty interesting gloomy atmosphere. It kind of reminds me of Neo. It's like some shit you would see in Neo, But obviously this game came out way before any of that. But Yeah, I really like this ending stage. I really do. So Saki gives Aya the knowledge of bringing someone back to life, but Aya has like, or at least it's thrown in the air that she has a change of heart and wants to use it to save Saki instead. And this is where the game leaves off. That's it. There's nothing more. Even after the credits, that's it. There's nothing more after that. So truly a sad end, a sad revenge between two siblings that are the last of their family. And that's it. We've made it to the end of the game. Whew, that definitely took a while to explain. Um, I already did the liberty of like fast forwarding the credit sequence. That way, we're not sitting here forever. But yeah, you can go ahead and take a look at some of the credits, even some of the voice actors. Which I tried to find out Aya's voice actor, and there's really no information on her. Saki, however, her voice actor is still around. She actually still voices Saki in the later games of this franchise, which I thought was pretty cool. So once you complete the game, you unlock hard mode and then violent mode. But you can always go back and redo levels to complete these challenges. Every number that you see right there correlates to whatever stage it was. So whatever the challenge is, if there's a number 5 on it, that means you completed that on stage 5. You now have to do it on the other stages, so on and so forth. And this is where the real crazy shit really starts to settle in when it comes to these particular challenges. So let's go through them all, shall we? So let's start off with a bizarre woman. That one you can get by just spamming the suicide attack multiple times per stage. Certain stages have a lower requirement than the others, but yeah, you just spam the suicide attack and you complete the level. There you go, easy enough. The next one, genocide, will really make you go fucking crazy. So the requirements for that one is you have to in every single room you are in, you have to kill every single zombie, every single one of them until you reach the final boss of the stage. So remember that That hospital that we were in, where you have to keep going back and forth in these long ass hallways, yeah, you gotta kill everybody. And I literally mean everybody along the way. Oh, and if you accidentally go into another room that you weren't supposed to go in, you have to kill all of them too. And yes, there's no way to prevent yourself from going into a room by accident. An enemy can slap you and knock you into another room. It's terrible. It's fucking god awful. The next challenge is Crimson Makeup, which is complete a level with the blood bar filled up, which essentially just beat the level while in Berserk mode. There you go. Easy. Easy shit to do. Crazy Libido literally tells you to also beat the level in Berserk mode as well. Again, the two just kind of go hand in hand. So if you beat the level in Berserk mode, you're going to get both Crazy Libido and Crimson Makeup completed at the same time. Exhaustion of Death, you have to complete the stage with like 1 point of health left. I am not joking. Yeah, good luck with that shit. Bloody Sword, you have to complete the stage with your sword completely bloody. So, yeah, there's that. I mean, that one's kind of easy because all you have to do is just get your sword bloody up to, like, have your sword bloody just before you go fight the boss, kill the boss with the sword that's bloody in your hand, and there you go. That's how you get it done. Dance of the Empress requires you to have a full combo meter on your stat fully maxed out, and you have to activate your cool combo all the way through. And here's what it looks like. Now, that may look like it was sped up. I promise you that was not sped up footage. That was all in real time. You have to be that quick and that precise. Again, if you're attacking zombies, you'll get the visual cues, and then over time you'll start to like have that feeling and memorize it through your hands. So yeah, very difficult to pull off, and you have to do that I think once per stage, if I'm not mistaken. Renzetsu Queen refers to you killing multiple zombies in a quick succession. So whenever you're doing your combos, on the bottom of your combo meter, you'll see a Renzetsu meter. That just means how many kills you've gotten in a very quick succession. So you just have to do that multiple times. I got that no problem on my first try without ever really trying. So yeah. Flawless Queen, you have to complete an entire level without getting hit. Yeah, good good fucking luck with that one, Chief. And the Beautiful Dance of Death requires you to kill the boss in a very short amount of time, which that's easy to do if you're in Berserk mode. Have your power stat maxed out, even use a power gem. There you go, you'll kill a boss in like 2 hits. Real easy. Alright, so you might be wondering yourself, okay, well these challenges are pretty challenging. What do you get for them? So you unlock costumes by doing the quests and other stuff. So here's a list of the costumes that you can get. For Costume 2, you have to beat story mode with 6 quests completed. Costume 3, complete story mode and complete 8 quests. Costume 4, you have to complete 10 quests. Costume 5 is when you completely fill up that question mark meter. That's why I said it's not worth putting in points into that, because it's really not useful at all. Costume 6 is you have to beat stage 6 on violent difficulty. And that's it for the costumes. So costume 5 legitimately changes Aya's costume, whereas costume 6 you play as another character. However, it's not what you think. The character plays literally exactly the same way as you do, so there really is no difference between the two, unfortunately. And for proof, here's gameplay playing as Saki. Once again, there really is no difference whatsoever. Even the attack style is the exact same, which is quite a shame. Because, of course, in the later entries, they actually are their own characters with their own playstyles and whatnot. So, at the very least, in the first one, though, that wasn't the case. And, of course, she has her own Berserk mode transformation, which I personally like more than Aya's. And no, if you try playing the story mode does not change at all for them. So it literally is just a reskinned Aya, unfortunately. It's not like Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 where it's a legitimate different character. So yeah. And if you complete 2 quests or 4 quests, you unlock both wallpapers that you can switch on the main menu by hitting L2 or R1, or whichever combination. But that is literally it. Well, that's about it. there's really nothing else to really say about at least this game. And it was definitely a pretty interesting little journey that I took upon when it came to doing research for this, finding out many different players when it came to the conception and realization of this game. It's just very fascinating to me. I can see why this game was popular in the West way back then. It may be simple, but it did have some more things in it to at least give you the idea that, you know, there could be a lot more. And despite it being on a budget, the team at Tamsoft and Shensuke Tezuka especially, they really gave it their all when it came to this. And who would have thought such a little minuscule game at the time would end up becoming what it is today, or what it helped inspire and create in its path, in its legacy. Now that I know everything that there is about this game, I'm even more excited for the upcoming release of Origins, stated in October 16th. I really want to see how much they changed in terms of gameplay, the formula, everything, and go back to their roots. Because Origins is supposed to take place in this game. It's supposed to be this game, but redone with everything they've learned, everything they've accomplished over the years. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what progress they've made and what changes they're going to include to the update. Another thing that I'm just really happy about is that if anybody ever wondered what the original game was all about, you know, anything about it, there is at least a few videos online, but mine will be included in that list to help document what this was and to hopefully inspire others to do the same with what other niche video games that they happen to love. OneeChanbara, at least the very first games, are most definitely not going to be for everyone, especially those who are experienced like me in games like Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry, where we're so used to having really deep and well thought out mechanics. So I'm not really sure what to really rate this game, but I can definitely tell you with 100% accuracy, this game is not for everyone. It really isn't. However, for those of you who do like the hack and slash genre and do want to give this game a try, I implore you to. It's a very interesting game, and the way how they have the cool combo set up, I've never seen that in other hack and slash games, where you have to be really precise with your timing when it comes to your attacks like that. And they've stuck with that all the way up until now. If you really want to start off on a good OneeChanbara game, I highly advise starting on Z2 Chaos. That is what really inspired me to go on this little rabbit hole of a journey to go and explore all the older games and really try to understand how they used to be and how much they've evolved over time. Because Z2 Chaos at this moment in time is the latest OneeChanbara that has the most up-to-date mechanics that the devs have created for the series. So again, I highly recommend starting off on that. And if that game in itself really made you like it, then try out the other ones. I, on the other hand, still have many other OneeChanbaras to go out and try out. I have yet to even play the sequel to this game, which is OneeChanbara 2, or as it was in the West, Zombie Hunters 2. There was an in-between game where it was literally this, the first game, just updated. And I call it like the Monster Hunter G of OneeChanbara because that's exactly what it is. It's the same game, but they added more stuff to it and they tweaked some things here and there to make it a lot more enjoyable. And that game was Zombie Hunters, or Zombie Zone The Other Side. And in this game, they actually added more characters. Every character plays differently. Again, mechanics are fixed, changed, and improved upon. The devs really stepped it up and really released something even better than what the original was at the time. However, this video is already going to get close to an hour and a half, so I would not have any time to talk about that like I originally planned. That video definitely does deserve or that game definitely does deserve a video of its own because of how much they've changed. Albeit, it will be a lot shorter because I don't have to go into the backstory of who made it and what happened, so that's nice. But who would have thought little games like this and Earth Defense Force would later become really big, well-known franchises that they are today? And it all started from a very simple series. I would like to hope that Shensuke sees this video. I would like to ask him questions about this game. He's been like the lead creative designer in a lot of these games that I've mentioned way earlier in the video. I would like to know his thought process, what kind of person he is. Because we all know who Goichi Suda is. We all know who Hideo Kojima is. It saddens me to see somebody who has been so involved with a lot of very popular games that people talk about all the time, and yet nobody talks about him. So to all the men of culture out there, I think we really do need to pay some respects to Shensuke here. I will definitely leave a link to his Twitter account and such, and just leave something positive for him, because I don't know, maybe he just never really got that credit that he definitely deserves. And that to me hits very hard as someone who is currently writing and producing something that I want people to consume and actually internalize and walk away with and further inspire and create more things from. To know that your creations help spark something grand and big, yet you, the man behind it all, or at least played a big part of it all, was just kind of swept to the side. That to me is what gets to me. And if you're an artist, if you're a worker, if you're, human, that should affect you too. So to Shensuke Tezuka, even though this game may have been a little frustrating, you definitely created something very unique and interesting at the time. And it definitely did pay off for you and your team over at Tamsoft. And the things that you guys later came out and created were all just birthed from this original game. And I thank you for that. I greatly do. I can't wait to try out more of the OneeChanbara games and find out what other things you guys have done. And I also greatly look forward to playing OneeChanbara Origins as well, to see what you guys have decided to change up for the original game. A lot of things that I talked about in this video will be linked in the description below. If you want to try out this game for yourself, I will definitely link you to the site where I got the ROM from. It's pretty safe. I didn't really get any issues or viruses from it. It was a pretty reliable place to get a ROM. I'll also leave any walkthroughs, guides, anything like that in there as well, so that you won't have as much trouble as I did when it came to playing this. Because I do believe that, people should give this game a try. They should try it out. As for me, I'm going to be working on the next video talking about Zombie Zone The Other Side. And hopefully that video will be out before Origins comes out, because there's quite a bit to talk about there for that game. I'm also going to start updating my Patreon, clean it up, make it look a lot better, because I do see myself doing more of these types of videos in the future. And I realize that this is a very long video as it is, but I hope that this video was a pretty big journey for all of you, because it definitely was for me. Any criticisms you have for what I should do for my next videos and whatnot, or maybe other games I should try out as well, please let me know. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed what I found so far about this very niche, tiny little game. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.